Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're at. So I'm gonna make this video on how to remove a fender. It's a 750 F01 F02s are exactly the same, and pretty much all your 5 series and down are going to be very similar, so you can use it. So what I got going on, I got a project. This is a 2014 that was wrecked in the front. I already got stripped down, and you can subscribe and take a look. I'm going to do what it took to rebuild and all like that. Then I have this 2010 that has the valve guide seals have gone bad. It's got electrical issues, and it hit a deer in the front, as you can see right there. So that's probably going to end up getting scrapped or parted out. But anyway, we need the fender. So the first thing you got to do is you got to take the tire off, and you got to find all the screws here for your air duct, your brake air duct, the screws for your inside fender well, and take all them out, front and back. Now these here, what you do is you need to get a little punch and push those pins through. So when you push those pins through, then you can take something and pry out on these. If you try to just pry out on them, you're going to destroy them. So anyway, yeah, you just got to look for all the screws. If they seam together in the middle, in the top. So the front one comes off first, that's the front one. And then the rear one. Take all that off first. Then you have to remove all this plastic up here. Same thing, it's just got these push pins that you pop out. So we're gonna get all the plastic stuff off, and then we're gonna move on and see what it takes. It's not that hard, so stay tuned. Okay, so we got the fender well out. You can see there's your washer fluid reservoir. So I'm gonna show you something, and here's the thing. This car, like I say, is going to the scrapyard or whatever like that, so I don't care too much, and I'm trying to hurry this along. So the first bolt that you kind of got to look at is right there. Now you can see I've cut the bracket. So what you have to do, I'll explain what you have to do to get to that if you don't want to cut the bracket. So it's got these clips, get them here, that go into your plate here. So what you have to do is you have to go underneath the car. You have to remove the side plastic cover. Then there'll be bolts all along here that are star bit. So you remove those. Then if you pull down on this, you know, you can use a plastic wedge in here if you need a little bit of help. But this will pop off. After you remove all the bolts, you have to remove them all the way down to the rear tire. So, like I said, you know, this one is going to the scrapyard or whatever, so I'm not that worried about it. So the next thing you got to do, if you look all the way in the back there, there's a bolt. So while you're here, you might as well get that one out. Hard to focus on it. But yeah, so you get those two bolts out, the front one where I cut it and that back one, and then you got to move up top, and you got to take all these bolts out here, okay, all the way back, and then this little rubber piece just comes off. There's one back here, so pull this little rubber piece out and make sure you've got all the bolts out. So another hint when you do stuff like this, especially with the plastic, if you think you got all the bolts out and it won't come loose, there's probably still one in it. You know, just take your time and make sure you take them out so you don't break things up. But we're going to take those top bolts out, and then there's one more place that we're going to move to next. Okay, so like I promised, a couple more bolts. It's like I say, it's really not that difficult. So you have your bumper cover here. In mine, like I said, I hit a deer. So you have the one here, and then there's one more back here. And actually, if you can use a 5/16 on a drill. That's what I do, and those screws will come right out. but your bumper cover is attached to the fender. Then we have one more here. If you open the door, there's one more right, where is it? Right there. See it. Sun's reflecting on everything, so it's a little bit difficult to film, but yeah, so you can get that bolt off. Okay, so we got the fender loose and everything else loose. One more bolt up here. Let's see if I can show you. It's right back there. Very, very difficult to get to. So I just use a number 10 box wrench, and you can get on it and get it out. Depending on what model, for some reason the newer F02s are a little bit easier to get to than the F01s, but at any rate, you got to get that bolt out. So we'll be doing that one, and then the fender is free. If you do like I did and cut, you're going to have some resistance along here because this actually clips in, and sometimes those clips get broke when you take the fender off, and I don't know, how you can replace them, but at any rate, that's how you remove the fender. So thank you for watching. Like I say, we have a lot of videos on these BMWs. I have them on the older BMWs also, a lot of videos. So subscribe and take a look at what else we have. Welcome to another video. So in this video, we're going to be going over the Copart car that I bought. So this is the one I picked up, and as you can see, it's got some front end damage to it. And this is what we're going to be repairing. So fender, hood, there's some internal damage too that we'll get into. So this car is a 2010 that I bought about 5 years ago that had the same sort of damage on the right side of the car. And I repaired it. It's been a good car up until just recently. And the 2010, if you know, the F01s were famous for the valve guide seals going bad, and they went bad. The cars got 100 and almost 30,000, so it started smoking and burning oil real bad, and then it developed electrical problems. So I can't see it being worth fixing. It's a shame with a car with only 130,000 miles on it, but it is what it is. So I picked up this one, paid $3,400 for it at an auction. It's got 58,000 miles on it. It's a 2014. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the parts off of this one, and we're going to put them on this one. So part of the reason I'm making this video also is you can see that I've noticed there's not a lot of good videos on how to do things, even as simple as change the front bumper cover. So we're going to be going over all that. We're going to do the bumper cover, the hood, the fender, and some of the internal repairs. And I'm going to put the videos separate too. So if you'd like to just see a particular thing, subscribe or go to the channel and you can see them. I also have videos on other repairs for this, the F01, F02 BMWs, the airbag pumps, fan motors for the heater, and other videos. If you'd like to see them, be sure to subscribe and check them out. So anyway, the first thing we're going to do is remove the bumper cover to this new one that we have. So let's get to it.